So today's webinar is about WordPress. But before we go there, I want to talk about the webinar and the value to you guys who are listening in, you guys who are live. This webinar is part of what IT Varsity offers you guys, part of what we offer you guys as our mentorship program to you. And it's for you. It's for you to touch base with us, to meet your lecturer. Obviously, you hear my voice mostly in the entrepreneur course. So I'm your lecturer, I'm your mentor, I'm your guide through this course. And this is an opportunity to meet me and ask me questions, and also to meet your other fellow students and interact with each other. Because I mean, the online space can be a bit of a lonely space to learn, but we created this little program for you guys to talk to each other and to talk to us. So remember, whatever questions you need to ask away. There's no question out of topic. This is all for you. This is for you. If you want to ask something about the curriculum, the entrepreneur curriculum, you want to ask something about jobs in tech, you want to ask something about business, this is where we are here to answer your question. But we do bring in topics of discussion every week. That is primarily to keep the conversation going. But you guys are our first priority as our students. Just remember that. That's the most important thing. So today's topic, Talha, what are we talking about today? Talha, the audience can't hear you at all. They can't even see you. They can't even see you. It's just your picture. Can you hear me? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we need a new solution, huh? Sorry, guys. Those of you that are listening in, how many? It takes about 30 seconds. Nothing. You might want to check your OBS settings, or I'll have to fly solo today. Any changes you can see there? Okay. Well, let's continue, right? I'll continue flying solo, and since I can hear you, I will relate what you are saying, and also check in on the comments for me. Okay, to our viewers, apologies for that. We're having some difficulty bringing Talai in because I mean he's traveling abroad. He's in Turkey, and we don't know what's going on. But yeah, we'll continue. So our topic today is WordPress as a powerful web development tool. So the thing that Tala was mentioning earlier is that WordPress is now 20 years old, and it's the king of the hill as far as websites goes. There's a large percent of websites on the web currently that are on WordPress, that are built on WordPress, and some significant websites like let me just bring up my notes. I'm bringing up Talha's notes actually. Yeah, so WordPress, according to these stats, is on 40% of websites on the internet. That is a lot of websites, 40%, nearly half. And about 810 million websites are powered by WordPress. So that is incredible because when you think about WordPress, it started off as a blogging platform. And from a blogging platform, it became a fully fledged web design platform and very quickly became the king of the hill. And I think the reasons for that are very clear, but I'll come back to that. Why is WordPress so popular? Number one, ease of use, easy to set up, easy to use. Second one, flexible, right? Because of the plugin. And that's the winning formula. WordPress's plugin architecture is what makes it so flexible. I mean, you can get a plugin for just about anything for WordPress right now, and that's what we find very cool. It's also very customizable with all the themes, the thousands of themes, tens of thousands of themes. Themes for computers, I mean, responsive themes that will work on computer screens, mobile, you name it. And WordPress has a very active community of developers. So it's under constant development all the time, improvements. You're getting new versions coming out, updates coming out all the time. So that makes it quite secure. And then who uses WordPress? Well, first and foremost, IT Varsity. Our website is built on WordPress, and we are loving it. Also, news outlets like Time Magazine, CNN, Wired, Vogue, Microsoft News, also other sites like, I mean, big sites like Sony Music, PlayStation, and even the White House, the White House command center of the US, they use WordPress. So there's a lot of, you can see, notable sites that are using WordPress, and WordPress is still holding on as king of the hill. Now, I want you guys, especially those of you who did module 7, it was module 7 that does WordPress, right? 6 or 7 of Entrepreneur. Yeah, those of you who did module 7, tell me what was your experience like? And for you guys who are not IT Varsity students or who haven't reached module 7 yet, in module 7 of the Entrepreneur course, you learn WordPress. You learn how to use WordPress to create an application, a website, and not just any website, but you make your own portfolio website, which is cool because here you are, a student, learning to build a website, and the website you build is your own website. And IT Varsity gives you free hosting for life. So you host your content on your website on our servers, and you make that into your portfolio, put in your information, you put in your list of projects that you've done. And what's great is that portfolio website becomes your CV. Isn't that cool? So IT Varsity does that for you guys. Now, as far as the WordPress, how does it compare with other web development platforms? WordPress is very user-friendly, easy to customize, and has a large community of developers. It's flexible. The three follow-up content management systems, this is what Talha brought in here in terms of popularity, are Shopify, Wix, and Squarespace. And they, in total, they account for only 8.4% of websites. They are big. I mean, Shopify especially is big, right? But only 8.4%. And I think there's a number of reasons for that. But the one thing I find appealing about solutions like Shopify and Wix and Squarespace is that everything is ready. You just go in, you sign up, you pay up, and you create your website. You don't need a web designer. With WordPress, remember, you need web hosting. You have to set up web hosting, and you have to set up WordPress on your hosting server and then customize it. So there's a learning curve there. But with sites like Wix and Squarespace, there's no learning. Or Shopify, there's no learning curve, and they're extremely flexible. So I like that part. But what I like about WordPress is because you are doing everything yourself. Firstly, the costs, you can control the costs, and secondly, you have a lot more control over what you do with your website. So that's pretty cool. Now, the question is WordPress the king of the hill? My answer would be yes. But in the meantime, those of you who are, whatever questions you got, don't forget, put it down in the comments, because I want to know what you are saying. So my question is, how many of you are planning to become web designers, would like to become web designers, and would you use WordPress, and why or why not? I'd like to know that. So now, is WordPress the king of the hill? I would say yes. Obviously, looking at the numbers alone, WordPress is the king of the hill by far. I mean, look at the others: 8.4% versus 40% of websites, 810 million websites. That's incredible. And of course, the plugins. And I just want to mention one interesting plugin, WooCommerce. If you want to do e-commerce, if you want a fully fledged e-commerce store, then you're probably going to look at WooCommerce. And WooCommerce is actually a South African product. It started out live in Cape Town in South Africa, and then it was subsequently bought by WordPress. So it started off as an independent plugin, and it was bought by WordPress. And now it's one of the biggest e-commerce plugins in the world, which shows, right? South Africa has talent. South Africa has a lot of talent, and we have developers who can do very well for themselves. Okay, so now let's talk about WordPress. The one danger that WordPress would probably face is that it can become very bloated, and I have experienced that with our websites. I mean, WordPress itself is a big app. It's a PHP-based app, and it's a very big app. And it obviously won't run as fast as a pure HTML page. But building an HTML page is a schlep in itself, because you have to literally code everything. So that's the first thing to remember. WordPress is big. And then when you add plugins, and remember, you get plugins, and then you get plugins of plugins, and it becomes a very bloated architecture eventually. And remember, as streamlined and as good as WordPress is, it doesn't have that much control over the plugins. So you could install a plugin which suddenly just slows down the whole works, and you can't hold WordPress itself responsible for that poor programming on a plugin. As much as they give guidelines for plugin creation, they don't have that much control. But nonetheless, WordPress is still great. Now, for those of you, and this is the big question. This is the big question. If you want to pursue a career in web design, which technology should you use? Hands down, my answer to you would be WordPress. Use WordPress, learn WordPress, become a master of WordPress, learn about how to install WordPress, all the ins and outs of it, the themes, different kinds of themes that you can get, and also the various plugins. Because when clients approach you, you need to be able to give them answers. So a client would come and say, well, I want an e-commerce store and I want it to operate on mobile. You need to be able to select the right theme and the right plugin to work with your WordPress. So that would be my first advice to you, aspiring web designers. The other thing, very important, is you need to know which hosting companies to use. This is very important, because there are some hosts who have a single button press WordPress installation. So you set up the server, you press a button, you go into the control panel, you press a button, and WordPress is installed. And then you can start building up from there. That's very, very important. And thirdly, you need to know how to select a domain name. because your client would probably come to you and, I own a company called ABC Clothing, and I want you to make a website for me. And they probably don't even have a domain safe, so you're going to have to learn to do that. And that's really easy. You go to websites, different websites, hosting websites, and they sell domain names. So you can select domain names for your clients, and then you can tell your hosting company to attach it to the website you're building. So those are technically that's all you need for becoming a pro WordPress designer. But if you want to learn more about it, it's in module 7 of Entrepreneur. We really delve deep into it and help you to build your own website there. And what's the business opportunities for web designers? Now, this is the key question. This is what I love. When we talk business, when we talk money, when we talk potential, when we talk opportunities, that's what I love. But before I go there, I'm just going to ask Tala to check. Tala, have you got any comments or questions? Hey guys, can't you do better than good morning? Come on, talk to us. Are you an aspiring web designer? Do you want to pursue a career in web design? Because this is for you. Okay. In the meantime, now let's look at the opportunities. Web design is still a massive field, regardless of what people will tell you, what's trendy and what are the new clickbaity type videos that are out there. Don't worry about that. Remember, web design is big and it's a burgeoning field. There are companies all over the place, small to large companies that are constantly creating or managing websites. So it's a very big field. Now, you as a potential web designer, if you're thinking about it, my advice is don't think twice. Delve into it, become a WordPress master. And if you want to really take things further, you can even become a WordPress plugin developer or a WordPress theme developer, but that requires some PHP coding. There's a free PHP course on YouTube in the IT Varsity channel. You can go and check that out. But okay, what is the potential, earning potential? So typically a website, a turnkey solution on a website, if a client approaches you, and that includes setting it up, installing, theming it up, adding about 3 pages of basic content, you should charge nothing less than 4,000 to 8,000 rands for that, depending on your skill level and the amount of pull you have in the market, right? So that alone is good money. But the real money comes in retainers. You see, a lot of businesses, small businesses especially, don't have the money to hire an internal web designer, because that would cost what, 10, 15,000 rands, and they don't have that. But what they do is they hire external designers and they pay them a retainer to maintain their websites. So you can charge your clients a retainer if it's just managing their website and uploading pages, keeping it up to date, anything from 2,000 to 4,000 rands. A basic retainer. But then you can add on top of that, you can add copywriting. You can write new copy for them if they're running a sale, for example, and they want to put that out. If they want photos taken, you can offer them to go and take the photos. All you need is a good camera and a decent ring light, and you can take product photos. That's obviously if you're in their vicinity. You can do graphics for them also. Now, if you're offering a full solution like that, now you're in the 5,000-6,000 rands retainer bracket, because you are very valuable. You're like a fully fledged web department of that company. So you can negotiate anything around 6,000, maybe even more. Now, and like I said, that's where the money comes in, because that's repeat money every month. That's a retainer. They're paying you monthly for that. So you're invoicing them, they're paying you monthly. And then social media strategy, social media marketing, that's even more. So you can get a retainer of 8,000 to 10,000 rands just on that. Now think about it like this. You got a retainer of, let's go modest, let's say 6,000 rands. You're charging your client 6,000 rands for all of these services, and you've got 10 clients. Do the maths. Do the math. 6 times 10, 60,000 rands a month. That's a lot of money, especially if you are working on a remote basis. So you are servicing companies around the world, and that's what you're doing. I've got this one student. He's moved to Australia now. He's in a full-time job, but while he was freelancing, he was getting paid $1,000 a month to maintain one website. $1,000 a month. There was a church in the United States he was servicing while here in South Africa. That's 17 grand a month, 17,000 rands a month. That's a lot of money. So guys, if you are thinking of getting into development, I would say start with web design and start with WordPress and build your business like this. And then you can get into other things, because clients will come back to you and say, hey, well, you did a website, we need an app now. And then you can learn to build an app, or you can bring in other developers who know how to develop apps. Or if they want a custom software solution, you can partner with companies to help them build that software solution. Or you can learn a technology like Microsoft Power Apps and build the apps for them. Power Apps makes it so easy to build apps. You don't need to code. You just get Power Apps, a Power Apps license, and you use no code to build an app. So you see what I'm saying? This is how your business can potentially grow, and you can grow. It's all out there, guys. It's all out there. There's tons of opportunities for you out there. You just have to be confident and you have to go for it. Remember, the fact that you decide today you want to become a web designer and you put out on your social media and you make a little website for yourself, it's no guarantee that you're going to suddenly get clients. But that's not an opportunity, or it's not a reason to give up. That's business for you. You have to put in the effort. You have to be at it constantly. You have to knock doors, and sometimes you have to knock the same doors 2 times, 3 times, 7 times, 10 times, 20 times until you get a yes from them. And you have to keep putting yourself out there on social media. Things don't just come because we want them to come, and they don't come at the rate that we want them to come. They'll take their own time. That's the law of the universe, the most immutable law of the universe. You have to work your backside off, and then eventually you'll start seeing business. And that's what most people don't get these days. Most people quit before they even get a chance to let their businesses burgeon. Why? Because, well, I've been doing this for 3 months and I still don't have any customers. People have worked much harder for much longer to get where they are. And today they're running big businesses. But if you ask them, how did you start? Don't look at them today. Ask them how they started. Ask them all the sacrifices they had to make and all the uncertainty they had to endure. And they'll tell you a story. They'll tell you that the best thing you can do for yourself is to persist. It could take months, it could take a couple of years before you reach that 60,000 mark. But imagine when you are there, earning 60 grand a month, not working for anybody, not having to go to work. You can work from a coffee shop. You can work from Turkey, as Tala is doing. You can work from anywhere in the world. What a pleasure, what a joy, what freedom. But you need to work towards it. It's not going to come to you. You have to go and find it. That's the law of the universe. That's the law that every business person understands. Okay, we are on 11:28. I just want to check. Tala, any questions from the audience? Any comments? Is today's topic not engaging enough? I don't know. You guys are not really engaging. You're not challenging me. You're not asking you're not asking any questions. He says the star of the show is missing, which would be you. Okay, all right. I think I've said enough. We are on 11:29. If there's no more comments over the next few minutes, I'm going to conclude now. But if you have any questions now, please ask me before I conclude. I just want to say to you guys this one thing. Remember, there are tons of opportunities out there, and there's no better space to be right now than in the tech space. Whether it's a web design or app development or data analytics or software engineering, whatever your choice of career in the IT space, it's very hard to go wrong. But you need to make that effort. You need to work hard. You need to focus. You need to be determined. You need to surround yourself with people who will support your growth. And you need to, most of all, you need to persist. You need to be there and turn up for work every day. Put yourself out there. Put your fears aside. And I promise you, things will open up. Things will open up. You will start getting business from all over the world, and you will be shocked where these people are coming from. And I'm not talking from theory here, I'm talking from experience. I've come where I've come, not the easy way. I've been at this for what, 15 years now? And it's been a tough journey, but an enjoyable one and a rewarding one. Okay, guys, with that, I'm going to conclude and say bye-bye to you guys. But if you do have comments or questions after this, please put it down below and we'll respond to them. Bye. Mr. Tal, thanks for joining us and enjoy your trip.